Our headlines today. Crisis talks to save Britain's biggest water company, Thames Water, which is thought to be billions of pounds in debt.
Higher interest rates mean the company is paying more on its debt at the same time as needing to stop sewage leaks caused by creaking infrastructure. We'll take you through the details.
Suspected human remains are found in the debris of the Titan submersible, which imploded last week with the loss of 5 lives.
Price of package holidays is soaring, with some destinations 25% higher than last year.
And good morning, I'm at Lord's, where it's raining on the second day of this second men's Ashes test, and where Australia very much have the upper hand, with Steve Smith approaching a century.
The royal household has revealed in its annual finance report that it's felt the pinch of inflation. The sovereign grant, which was published today, showed that Buckingham Palace has been forced to use financial reserves.
E-scooters have been hailed by supporters as a green transport solution, but some charities for the blind are concerned that they're too quiet to be safe.
Researchers are now developing alert sounds which can warn pedestrians when e-scooters are approaching. Let's have a look at some of your Thursday morning front pages from the papers, starting with The Guardian. Leading on crisis talks at Thames Water, UK's largest water company, could be on the verge of collapse. The paper reports that rescue measures are under discussion amongst ministers and regulators.
Now, The Telegraph says there are fears the company's collapse could trigger a domino effect among other suppliers and that the government could nationalise swathes of Britain's water industry. Let's look at The Times. It's reporting on the introduction of DIY kits to give to people aged 40 and over in England a health MOT. The scheme would see blood tests and questionnaires sent out about a person's weight, height and other health indicators. It's all in an effort to reduce heart disease and obesity.
And a look at The Sun, leading on the news that Madonna is being treated in intensive care, postponing her world tour after being diagnosed with a bacterial infection.
I'm going to show you something seen in the inside pages. I'm not sure how effective this robot is going to be, but this robot is going to direct the Korean orchestra. Right? It's going to happen tomorrow, and it's an android robot. It looks very much. Have you seen that film, I, Robot? You know, with Will Smith, who was in that. It looks very much like that. It's called Eve R6, and we've had robot arms conduct an orchestra before, but this one has really flexible joints and apparently can move really quickly with fast and precise movements. I was doing an impression of it, but I thought I might hit you, so I kind of, because you're looking that way, you kind of missed the...
Oh, you were doing it then, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, never mind. I missed you too.
But it's pre-programmed, is that's correct?
That is it, yes.
Actually, it's not reacting to anything, it's just, it's mimicking movements, it's been programmed to...
It has, right? Yeah, absolutely. So it reproduces the movements of a human conductor, and that's been recorded already during a conventional performance. So, look, it's baby steps, isn't it?
In amongst some disappointing things, not a very imaginative name. I mean, you know...
Eva.
Well, for the first robot conductor, could they not have come up with something better, frankly?
Well, there'll be others.
All right.
You got anything else?
Yes. I don't think we got a picture for this one. Everybody is interested in octopuses, right? Everybody's interested in octopuses.
Is it octopi or octopuses?
No, it's octopuses.
Okay.
And scientists have been research about whether octopuses dream. So when they sleep, do they dream? You might not have thought about this question before. They've been looking at this. Is Professor Sam Reiter, senior author, who says that they've been watching octopuses when they're asleep, and they see that their skin changes colour and texture. And they've linked this to the fact that they are dreaming, and as they're dreaming, they're going through, thought patterns, and they actually change colour.
But that's what they do anyway. Doesn't that make sense? Because if we were dreaming and having a bad dream, you'd sweat and you'd get flushed and everything, so...
Well, interesting, in the research here, and this doesn't sound terribly technical, but apparently this is what they do in the research. If the octopuses are deprived of sleep for 2 days by being tickled with a paintbrush, just have that thought for a moment, they subsequently show an increased rate of active sleep. So they tire them out. It doesn't really sound right, does it, by tickling them with a paintbrush?
I wouldn't suggest tickling an octopus with a paintbrush is a particularly nice thing to do, but... Ho-hum.
Apparently that's what they're doing.
There you go.
Stories dominating the front pages of today's papers, so let's take a look at them, shall we? The Metro describes Thames Water as on the brink. The Telegraph says that whole swathes of the UK water industry may have to be taken back into public ownership. Crisis talks as Thames Water faces £10 billion deficit, reads The Guardian. According to the Eye, taxpayers in this country could be called upon to bail the firm out, despite it having stakeholders in China and Abu Dhabi. Elsewhere, the Mail has word that doctors planning to go on strike for more NHS pay will still be allowed to do private work on stoppage days. The Times reports that every middle-aged person in the UK is to be sent a DIY health check kit in an effort to head off medical problems in later life. A source quoted in The Express warns that the government will fight members of the House of Lords who are against its proposed laws to stop small boats. The Mirror claims an exclusive with news that so-called Islamic State is planning a major terrorist atrocity at a public event in Britain. The Sun leads with news that music star Madonna has put her world tour on hold after being found unresponsive and rushed to intensive care with a bacterial infection. And The Star tells us that the King isn't a fan of slugs. And if you want to see any of those, any of those front pages again, or read the stories, scan the QR code on your screen.